Stop and smell the roses along life's wayfind. Happiness and all that you do, and always try to make.
Actual footage from a Kyle Petty concert, everyone. Marty Sider, Kyle Petty, in the flesh here. Nate Ryan joining you here. And nice job, KP.
Yeah, you know, I knew that was me because I had my name on the strap. That's how I recognized it.
I didn't know that.
Was good.
That pull that back up. Is your name really on the strap?
Yeah, it's on the strap. It's like putting your name on your belt, man.
Just in case you get confused backstage and perhaps
That's
you don't want to
exactly
take the wrong guitar
I don't want to
from
take
the
somebody
mini...
else's. No, and I was with the guys from Sleep at the Wheel last night, so I don't want to take
That'd
Ray
be a nice
Benson's
guitar
guitar.
if you got one of those.
Yeah, if I got Ray Benson's guitar, that would be like
So you were in concert in where last night?
What's the name of that place? I can't pronounce it. Yeah, the theater. What?
McGlowan.
Yeah, McGlowan Theater.
Yeah,
Yep,
downtown
with,
Charlotte.
Myself and David Childers.
Very nice.
A guy I play with here in Charlotte who's really good, really good. You got to get a chance. And we played 30-some minutes or so before the Sleep at the Wheel, so it was fun.
You know, Nate is our resident music critic,
he
by
is.
the way. So how was Kyle in concert?
He was great when I saw him at the Evening News.
Yes, you did. That's exactly right.
That's a great venue in
Yeah,
town,
that was
by
pretty.
the way.
Hold on. His wife is a better critic. She said my songs were what?
Dark.
Dark. Yes. And that's what I was going
This
for.
is an accomplishment for you, Kyle
For me,
Petty?
it was because that's what I was going for. Dark. Going for darkness.
By the way, this is a NASCAR-themed show, so
Yes, it is.
there's lots of talk here on a Wednesday and all kinds of stuff going on. Starting with Kyle Larson, who is backing down from his comments that were on Gas and Go with you and Rick Allen yesterday, Nate. So backing down from those comments, why?
Because he regretted them, and because I suspect that Hendrick Motorsports, which supplies engines to Chip Ganassi Racing, probably took umbrage at having their name linked in the same sentence with the word cheating, which Kyle Larson used in the Rick Allen interview.
I'm sure this guy has thoughts.
He might have some thoughts on that.
Sound like a UPS truck backing up to me. Beep, beep, beep. Yeah, here's the way it works. Somebody at Hendrick picks up a phone and calls somebody at Ganassi, who in turn calls Kyle Larson. And it's the end of the conversation. It's called the phone muzzle. You know what I mean? Where it's like, we're telling you, don't say anything else.
I think you, to use Nate's word, take umbrage with that because you want drivers to be able to say what they feel, right?
Okay, here's the thing. And I'm going to say we do, especially on the media. We want them to say what Kyle Larson said, okay? Because that's a story. You want them to have personality. You want them to express their opinions. You don't want that clone. Everybody saying the same thing, giving the same PR answers. And I said it before. You know, you didn't edit, you didn't censor what Earnhardt said. You didn't censor what Richard Petty said. You didn't censor what Red Byron said when he got out of that first race car 1,000 years ago. But that's how the sport has changed, and the money is so big, and everything, there's so much pressure, is you can't have personality anymore. You've got to be that, a little bit of that whitewash. And we know everybody in America has thin skin anyhow, so you got to be PC in everything you say. So that adds to it,
Unless
too.
you're Kyle Petty.
Yeah, there's so much going on wrong.
Obviously.
There's so
What's
much
your
going on.
hashtag you've started, Nate? Blunt Larson?
Blunt Larson.
I like it.
I like it. I like it.
Let's get the movement going. Another movement, Power Rankings, up on NBCSports.com/NASCAR. These are the official Power Rankings, Nate.
Yes.
You got Christopher Bell in there? Wait a minute.
Dustin Long, the editor of NASCAR Talk, wanted to shake things up. So it's not just Cup drivers. It's open to anybody. And this was the list the four of our writers for the website assembled. New number one. Last week it was Denley Hamlin. This week it's Kyle Busch. And 5 of the top 10 are different this week than last week. I'm sure Kyle has some thoughts.
No, well, my thought is you guys changed the rules. We're 2 weeks into Power Rankings, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, you guys can put your Uber driver in there if you want to. You can put anybody you want. Oh, my God, I didn't know we could put everybody in there. That's a lot more exciting.
You stuck to what I thought the rules were, which is Cup drivers.
I went Cup.
So here's your Power Rankings this week. And one surprise for you, we saw these before the show, Clint Boyer at number 3, but I can buy into that. Very strong at Daytona and very strong at Atlanta as well.
And listen, and Joey's going to be at the top of mine because he's the past champion. I'm sorry, we're 2 races in.
Right.
Clint, as far as he's just been aggressive, he's just trying to make something happen. And I appreciate that kind of stuff. Kyle Larson, number 7, because he says what he wants to say. So that's why I've got him in my Power Rankings. Go Kyle Larson.
Here are my Power Rankings for anyone who cares at home, and I have Larson a little bit higher than you have.
Good for you.
I think Ganassi period this year is going to be strong. I think with Jeff Curtis going over there in the lead engineering role, I think that's going to elevate Kurt Busch, Kyle Larson to new levels that we haven't seen Ganassi in a long time, Nate.
Yeah, and he had really good speed weeks aside from the block toward the end of the Daytona 500. I mean, he still finished top 10 at Daytona, finished 12th at Atlanta with the best car,
Yeah.
led the most laps. If he doesn't speed at the end of that race, he might be much higher because
Yeah.
he probably would have won.
Okay, I'm still out on that. Okay, and I'm going to say it.
The whole Ganassi
Yeah,
thing
the whole
being
Ganassi.
elevated?
Remember a couple of years ago when Kyle Larson was second, disappeared. You know what I mean? Through the middle part of the year. And then when he was eliminated from the playoffs, then he came back again. So you've got to show me some consistency. They've started the year strong a couple of times, I believe, over the last 3 or 4 years. But they haven't maintained, so maintain.
All right, so we have Nate's personal power rankings, which I don't know if you knew he had. We'll see if you did. You put Christopher Bell in there?
I did not put Christopher Bell there.
See,
So
my faith is
the other
reported
3
in you.
people who were in this poll must have had Christopher Bell. I differed from you guys a little bit in that I didn't have Martin Truex Jr. in my top 10, and I didn't have Blaney. I know Kyle had him, I think, 10th on his list. I looked at more Speed Weeks and Atlanta, and I felt like Harvick is a little bit lower for me as well. He was at the top of your rankings, Kyle, because he didn't have, I mean, he won a qualifier at Daytona, but he crashed in the Clash, and he crashed in the Daytona 500, and, you know, wasn't as dominant as he normally is at Atlanta.
I thought he had the best car at Atlanta, but just wasn't able to show the way the race really played out for
Unfolded,
him. You know,
yeah.
so that was my thought on the Kevin Harvick situation. But Chase Elliott in the top 10 for you.
I feel like you got to put a
I'm a
Hendrick
little too
car in
worried
there.
about Hendrick Motorsports for myself. You feel like you got to put a Hendrick
Well,
car in there?
he was in my top 10 coming out of Daytona because I felt like he, more than anybody else in the field, was trying to make moves at Daytona, even though he had a great car. So I almost gave him an A for effort at Daytona. And then Atlanta, he was sort of decent, and not maybe he wasn't the highest finishing Hendrick car, but I thought he was the best of the Hendrick cars. And I just think you got to put a Hendrick car in the top 10, right? Even though they're off to not a great start.
JTG outperformed.
We need to put those guys in the.
They've done a fantastic
They
job
have done
this year.
a fantastic job these first 2
Just
weeks.
make sure you make a note for next Wednesday. You can put your Uber drivers in if you want.
Here's what I'm going to do. Next Wednesday, I'm going to call the guy who does my power ranking, and I'm going to say, make sure you get my Uber
I need to get a
driver
guy
and
who does
JTG
my
in there.
power rankings.
Yes, that's it. I got a guy that knows a guy.
Yeah.
You got a couple guys who can handle that for you. So, well, that's going to do it for here. Thanks for joining us here on the NBC Sports YouTube channel.
Hey NASCAR fans, thanks for checking out the NBC Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you hit subscribe below for the latest NASCAR news, race highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.